A lot of people messaging me about Classic Plus and TBC. I don't really know what more to say about it necessarily. Oh, a lot of people were pointing out something I didn't talk about yesterday that I forgot to. The fucking Spanish are... I've talked about it before, I think on my podcast or whatever, but the Spanish are doing the Germans, Spanish, Germans. Ugh, what's the difference? The Germans, right? Are they German? Okay, so they're German. See, they are, yeah, they're doing hardcore WoW. I think they start in like 12 days. Like a full-on hardcore classic, like basically their own OnlyFangs, which is sick. I don't know how big their event's going to be, like how many participants they're going to have, but regardless, I will be hate watching. And I'm curious, like, I am curious how big is their event going to be? Because if they wanted to participate, let's say we did OnlyFangs 3, right? And they wanted to participate or group up or whatever, do it together. How would we incorporate? It all depends on how big they are. For all we know, me and Tyler don't need to go against each other. We can be on a team versus the Germans. I don't know if they're going to be that large, though. Maybe they will. As a German, I can say all those German Shebers suck. Okay. Well, I don't know if that's true, but I decided to read that for some reason. Spanish scene usually dwarves whatever English scene's got. Numbers-wise, yes, but content creator-wise, like, sure, they get more numbers, but the amount of content creators, right? So if it's a content creator versus content creator guild, we might have more. They might have more viewers, but we'll have more content. Does it make sense? So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know enough. Not something I've ever thought about, to be honest. Another thing is a bunch of fucking... I think I recommended like a round table discussion for Classic Plus. I don't know if I'm going to actually do that. Because I also got told... I have a friend of mine who said there is something in the works that's going to help. Basically, it's going to be a really good way to get info on Classic Plus for people to submit ideas. Not Blizzard. Maybe Blizzard's working on something, but no, it's third party. But it's good that someone says that, hey, it's crazy that you talked about this, Chance, because this is being worked on right now, and it's going to be sick. And they showed me some things. Yeah, so that's actually handled, which is cool as fuck. If it's third party, Blizzard will ignore it. I mean, truth be told, if Classic Plus has gold buying or gold sellers in it, if they have not handled that in some shape or form, just don't even bother. That's actually how I feel about it. It's so game ruining. That's what you missed? That's what I missed? What do you mean? I mean, the only thing I recommended, the only way I see a realistic fix to it is if Classic Plus had a separate subscription cost, which is a huge turnoff to a ton of people, but at this point, I have no expectations for Blizzard to ban all of the bots in their current game because their subscription numbers would just go down way too much. But if you start from a fresh 0 subscribers total and from the very beginning ban people, let's assume Blizzard actually does ban it, yeah, a separate subscription. But it's like, do we want to reward Blizzard for being the way they are? Not really. But that's the only way I really see that, or a WoW token. Something has to change because, again, you just release Classic Plus, it's just going to be riddled with gold buying again and gold sellers. Which just don't bother then. What is the WoW Ascension server? It's a private server. It's hosted by Russians, so Blizzard can't take it down. I think it's the only servers that can survive. And it was cool. It was very retail-y. There was a lot of issues with it. It was not good. I would never call that my Classic Plus. I actually was so annoyed when people said Ascension's No. Number one, it was super retail-y. It had transmog. You could pretty much buy gold from their website. You couldn't, but you could like buy things that, like, you could buy transmog and bags from their store, and you could sell them in the auction house. So you could buy gold, which I did. And also, like, you can mount at level 6. There was too much gear going around. The spell rotations felt like a tiny step up from Wrath of Lich King. But it was kind of Wrath of Lich King-esque rotations, which is too much. But there was some awesome things on the server that it did. Like, I loved Mercenary mode. I loved the way they did War mode and High Risk. So everyone is in the same... There's no phasing. Not really. Everyone's in the same phase. If people chose to do PvE mode, they would get 10% less XP, but they're still in the world around you. They just can't PvP, and you can't kill them. But the world still felt kind of alive, having everyone playing in these different modes while still being in the same phase. And then, of course, people would put War mode on, and then you'd kill them. Why are you killing me? Well, because you have War mode on. I just want the XP bonus. And I want a level. Stop that. Turn it off, bro. And then there was High Risk, where you get 15% bonus XP, but when you die, you drop a little chest on your corpse that has some of your inventory in it. Not your gear that you're wearing, I don't think, but some inventory, and you could drop some good stuff. And it may not work in other versions. It works on Ascension because you got so much gear. There were so many items you could find out in the world. There was, like, blood forged gear. So let's say, like, Iron Patch Blade, that level 15 blue sword, you could get a blood forged Iron Patch Blade, which was just a better version of it. And that's the kind of gear you could drop. You just got so much gear. So maybe High Risk only really worked on Ascension with the gear overload that you got. What else about Ascension? Oh yeah, talent tree wise, you had Wrath of the Lich King talents, slightly adjusted here and there, but it was at the end of the day Wrath of the Lich King, and you only had 50 talent points. So let's use druids as an example. Every single talent point had to go in the feral tree.
Smile.
Oh, thank you. Which is weird. But then they had something called mythic enchants, where you could, like, basically enchant, is like glyphs. It's basically glyphs, but you could glyph some resto talent. So you could glyph Omen of Clarity. You could glyph Furor, so you could power shift. But other weird enchants would do weird things, like after using Rake, your next Mangle or Claw hits 2 targets. So there was some weird stuff like that. And then you had a legendary enchant that was like Feral Frenzy, or just big cooldown buttons. Like hunters would get Power Shot, or they would choose... I leveled 100. What was the other thing I used? Some other bullshit. Things like that. It was cool. And then you had an artifact enchant, and that would be more like utility / mobility stuff. Like mages could get Time Warp, Shimmer, things like that. It was a really cool server. I just really hope that, you know, cool ideas like that don't just get forgotten, and they actually get saved somewhere, and then the community can have somewhat of a discussion and say, hey, this is a really cool idea. Do we want it? Yes or no? A lot of the times it'll be no, but at least it's discussed somewhere. So I think something's being worked on, which is really cool, where you can do that and submit ideas too.